Good evening everybody. As regards today's topic, as the name suggests, came to highlight when the glitter of gold was greatly faded when the government of India levied a 1% excise duty and some other restrictions on sale of gold in the gold market. This excise was actually a burden on the consumer and not the jewelry outlets, but still consequent to this, the jewelers all through the nation went on strike by shutting off their shops for more than 45 days. Now, on this backdrop, every serious consumer of gold was in a suspicion, and he is bound to be aware of the aspects like purity of gold, KDM jewelry, hallmarking jewelry and so on. This is a small attempt by me to bring the awareness towards gold customers so that they buy the gold with due care and not found lost in the purchase of gold. At the first instance, it is imperative to every consumer to be aware of what is a carat of gold. I commence with a brief explanation on what is carat. Carat is the measurement of purity of exclusive gold metal alloyed with other metals. 24 carat is the base mark. That is 24 carat is pure metal with no other metals mixed. Lower caratages contain less gold. For example, 18 carat gold contains 75% gold and 25% other metal, often copper, silver, zinc, etc. Now, why the gold is required to be mixed with other metals in doing with their ornament? This is for the sole reason that pure gold is too soft to make the exquisite jewelry. Therefore, the gold jewelries are almost alloy which are mixed with other metals such as silver, copper or zinc or some other metals for color variants. But pure gold is termed as 24 carats. Now, to explain carat, I make a small demonstration. See, here I take 24 equal parts of 100% gold pieces. Here I take gold coins, and for a better understanding, I take all these coins of 1 gram each. So, altogether 24 coins, 24 grams. Now, these 24 coins of 100% purity, I take in a crucible. This crucible is made out of graphite, which can withstand a temperature of 3650 to 3700 degrees centigrade, whereas the gold melts at 1064 degrees. The melt, see, this is kept in a furnace and the melt gold is poured in a mold and we get a molded bar, which is 24 grams of 24 carat purity, that is 100% purity bar. And this bar, when it is melted, it is homogeneously melted. Now, I repeat this procedure for lesser carats, in this case 23 carats, that is 23 gold and 1 copper. I take one gold out and I introduce one copper in this. I take all these 24 pieces in a crucible and repeat the procedure for 23 plus 1 copper coins and I get a molded bar. This bar is 23 carat and the total weight is 24 grams. I now repeat the procedure for 22 carats. It is 22 plus 2 copper. I introduce 2 copper. I repeat the same procedure here again. Put in a furnace, pour the mold in a mold and I get a bar of 22 carat gold. Now, the most popular carats are 22, 20, 18, 14 and 10. So, now I repeat this procedure for 20 coins of gold. Here I take 20 coins, I remove 4, I introduce 4, total 24 grams. I repeat the same procedure. I get a bar which is 20 carat gold bar weighing 24 grams, which is 83.33% purity gold. Likewise, I do it for 18 carats, in which 18 carats gold and 6 coins copper, that is 6 carat copper. Total 24 coins, 18 carat gold, which is 75% gold plus other metal is 25%. I repeat it for 14, that is 14 plus 10. 14 coins is a 58.5% gold and other metal is 41.5%. I then take 10 gold, 14 copper, which comes to 41.7% gold and other metal is 58.3%. Here it goes 6 gold, 18 copper, that is 6 carat gold, 6 carat purity gold, that is 25% gold, other metal is 75%. And finally, one coin of gold and 23 coins of copper, which gives you 1 carat of gold. So, 1 carat, that is 4.166% purity gold bar weighing 24 grams. So, 1 carat of gold is defined in terms of percentage content of gold as 4.166%, that is 1 out of 24 parts is a carat. That is exactly the definition of a carat, which is 4.166% of actual gold. So, gold purity is only in terms of percentage of gold content. Now, this is the gold purity chart in terms of percentage, but the gold purity is conventionally expressed in terms of 1000 instead of 100, that is instead of percentage it is expressed as parts per thousand, that is 3 figures. Accordingly, 22 carat of gold, which is 91 point, which we say 91.6%, is 916. That is 916 parts per thousand. So, if you go to any jewelry shop and if you read 916, it is actually 91.6%, but it is 916 gold, which is 22 carat gold. Now, having understood the purity concept, our next step is testing of purity of gold. There are two common methods. One is the traditional touchstone method, where and acid to test the gold purity, but a touchstone and acid are destructive testing, where a tiny sample of gold is cut and then tested. The sample is rubbed on the touchstone and a drop of acid is put, and the goldsmith observes the residue using the magnifying lens. Based on his experience, he determines the purity of sample, which may be somewhere near to the accuracy, but not perfectly accurate. In a way, it depends on the skill of the goldman. Then comes the electronic testing. The Karat meter, which is X-ray fluorescence machine, which we call XRF machine, this is a scientific device, that is spectrophotometer, which uses X-rays to give the exact reading and the contents of gold or any other metal. Due to its high precision, X-ray analysis have been adopted by international agencies in India as a part of the certification process. It is an accurate, non-destructive means of testing of purity of gold and even other related matters. Using this technique, the precise percentage by weight, that is karat, in a solid piece of jewelry can be determined in just a few minutes. It accurately determines the element composition of all types of gold, white gold, platinum, silver, palladium, rhodium and other related alloys. Now, when we buy jewelry from the market, we are bound to be under the impression that it is 22 carats, because 22 carats is the most popular one. In India, jewelry is fabricated in 18, 22 and 24 carats. The gold jewelry procured by you and me very innocently as specified carat, say 22 carat, maybe we do not know what carat, it is only a word of mouth. Basically, this may be adulterated in two aspects. Firstly, the main body of the material of the ornament. When you buy any jewelry, you buy 22 carats as this is the most prominent, and you pay the rates fixed proportionate to 22 carats accordingly. But in actual, you do not know whether it is really 22 carats as desired by you, because there was no up till now there was no measurement. There was no measurement machine like XRF machine to measure these carats. So, it was only a word of mouth and the color of the gold and all that, and the faith you have in that goldsmith, that is also one factor. Apart from this, there is an additional impurity exists at the welding or soldering points, which is inevitable. When a gold ornament is made, it is naturally subjected to several joints as per the design of the ornament. Now, at any point, the two pieces of gold cannot be soldered with the same caratage of gold as solder element as its main body. For instance, 22 carat. Hence, the actual soldering piece, which we call solder, is to have a less carat to lower its melting point, so that two pieces are homogeneously welded to each other. Hence, addition of copper or silver to this gold solder as a gold solder makes the ornament still impure at the joint solder points than its actual body. And there are such hundreds of joints in any ornament which you buy with a design. For demonstration, I wish to demonstrate some ornaments which are having lots of designs. For example, I exhibit this necklace. See, this necklace is having lots of solder points. There is lot of soldering on this. Every piece is soldered to the base of the necklace plus this. So, this is having lots of joints. Then see this bangle. This bangle is a design bangle. So, it is not a very straight. So, lots of joints in this. Similarly, this, see this necklace, there are lots of joints, otherwise you cannot weld it the pieces to each other. Then see this toda, that is a bangle, type of bangle, wherein lots of designs on this and consequently lot of joints. Hence, it is advisable always to go for a ornament with minimum welding joints, soldering joints. For instance, a round bangle. See this round bangle. See this round bangle. This is fabricated. A rod is made and it is just molded, and there is only one joint which is to be made on the circle. So, this is the bangle. Then similarly, this goat, this is called goat. So, only one joint will come on this rod, circular rod. Then see this bangle. There are some designs in this, but less than the necklace thing. Now, this soldering or copper or silver quantity is addition of extra weight, even though little, to the gross weight of the ornament at the sale outlet, which otherwise it should have been subtracted because it is not gold. But mostly they do not do, some of them may do it also, but in some countries they do. And thereafter, if you go with this ornament, suppose this ornament is 100 grams. So, when you go again to any jeweler, he will not give you net 100 grams of this, he will conveniently subtract the solder element in this while evaluating, and which he calls modav. Technically, he tells you that some modav is there, that is which means it is wastage. Because now we as wise men should understand that gold is never rusted or oxidized or subject to any chemical changes, nor it is rotten for allowing wastage. Now, what is the way out? Here comes the hallmarking solutions. Now, hallmarking, this is a quality certification set by Bureau of Indian Standards, just like ISI marks. Now, these are all the marks which are coming along with the hallmarked article. Now, before we see what hallmarking is, we see briefly the quality marks set by Bureau of Indian Standards, Government of India. First is the AG mark. AG mark is a certification mark employed on agricultural products in India, 224 different commodities spanning a variety of pulses, cereals, essential oils, vegetable oils, fruits and vegetables and other semi processed products. Then comes the ISI mark. ISI stands for Indian Standards Institute. A body set up when India became independent to create standards needed for orderly commercial growth and maintaining quality in the industrial production. Then comes the FPO. FPO stands for Fruit Products Order. The mark was named after the law called Fruit Products Offer. FPO marks guarantees that the product was manufactured in a hygienic environment and to the specifications and quality control requirements, thus ensuring that the product is fit for consumption. And then comes the hallmarking. Hallmarking of gold and silver jewelry. We are now here concerned with gold. Hallmarking of gold jewelry is the assessment of jewelry gold for its purity in carat. Hallmarking is the accurate determination and official recording of the proportionate content of precious metal in precious metal articles. Hallmarks are thus official marks used as a guarantee of purity of precious metal articles. The principal objective of the hallmarking scheme is to protect the consumer against adulteration and to obligate the manufacturers to maintain legal standards of fineness. Hallmarking of gold jewelry is the assessment of jewelry gold for its purity, that is carat. After confirming that required caratage is present, the hallmark is put by a laser device. The jewelers selling hallmark jewelry has to obtain license from Bureau of Indian Standards. And a hallmark jewelry consists of 5 marks. For example, BIS logo, purity in carats or percentage or parts per thousand. SA centers mark, that is assessment and hallmarking center, that is their identification mark. Jeweler's identification mark. Jeweler is having one emblem which denotes his identification. So, that mark comes, and fifth one is the date or year of hallmarking. The date is now exempted as per late amendments. The BIS hallmarking scheme has been aligned with the international criteria of hallmarking. As per this scheme, registration is granted to the jewelers by BIS under hallmarking scheme. The BIS certified jewelers can get their jewelry hallmarked from any of the BIS recognized assaying and hallmarking center. Assaying is assessment of the jewelry. So, it is called assaying and hallmarking centers. Hallmarking centers are set up all through the country. Then comes the procedure of hallmarking. The registered jeweler submits the jewelry for hallmarking to BIS recognized assaying and hallmarking center. These hallmarking centers are the testing centers where jewelry is tested. There are a lot of process before the jewelry is tested. After testing, the hallmarking center applies the hallmark on the jewelry which is found meeting the requirement of the required standard. The Indian standard on gold hallmarking is 1417 of 2016 specifies 3 grades for hallmarking of gold jewelry, which are 14 carat, 18 carat and 22 carat. Hallmarking charges for the jewelry are rupees 35 only per article. Growth of hallmarking scheme. Up to 31st March 2020, 30,626 jewelers have taken a registration from BIS for selling hallmark jewelry. The average growth in the number of registered jewelers during last 3 years have been nearly 18%. Similarly, the number of hallmarking centers have also grown at an average growth rate of nearly 25% during last 3 years. As on 31st March 2020, 915 BIS recognized assaying and hallmarking centers are operative in the country. Then comes the consumer protection. Consumer protection. Consumer should buy hallmark jewelry from BIS registered jeweler, and the following points should be taken care of. Check the BIS certificate of registration displayed at shop. Check hallmark consisting of 4 to 5 marks on the article with the help of a magnifying glass of 10 times magnification available in the shop. Do not pay hallmarking cost more than rupees 35 per article plus GST for gold jewelry if charged. Do not forget to take the bill which should mention the hallmarking cost, net weight of the precious metal, purity in carat on the bill. Now the check testing. Consumers can get their hallmarked jewelry tested from any of the BIS recognized assaying and hallmarking centers on chargeable basis. You can get only the hallmarked jewelry tested. Non-hallmarked jewelry you cannot go to the hallmarking center, you will not do it. The assaying and hallmarking center is required to issue the assay report, that is assessment report, giving proper identification as marked on the article. And if the assay report of hallmarking center reveals less purity, then the consumer can lodge a complaint directly with BIS. BIS ensures its redressal in reference to the registered jeweler. In case of shortage of purity, the consumer is entitled to get the compensation from the jeweler calculated 2 times the shortage in purity for the weight of the article sold. So, suppose if this article is 100 grams and you bought it as 22 carats and the purity at hallmarking center is revealed as 21 carat, then the difference of 1 carat, suppose costing 1 lakh shortage, you are entitled to get 2 lakh rupees, that is 2 times from that jeweler. Then the complaint redressal. BIS follows a well established complaint redressal procedure. Complaints are recorded centrally at Complaints Management and Enforcement Department, that is CMED, a separate department for redressing the complaints. Complaints can be made both offline and online. Online complaints can be made through mobile app BIS Care, which you can download from this Google Play Store. or by use of consumer engagement portal at BIS website www.bis.gov.in. Now, the mandatory hallmark orders, mandatory hallmarking orders. Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distributions, Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India in the extraordinary gazette dated 15th January 2020 notified that compulsory selling of precious metal articles of gold marked with hallmarked through certified sales outlets come into force with effect from 15th January 2021. This is the continuation of that order and the amendment. Wide amendment order 9th October 2020. The date 15th January 2021 has been deferred till 1st June 2021. That is, from 1st June 2021, selling of hallmark jewelry of 14, 18 and 22 carat will be compulsory for the jewelers. With this, I go to a list of jewelers in Goa with the hallmarking license. This is the list. The yellow highlighted are the jewelers from our local town, that is Ponda. There are altogether almost 111 jewelers who have obtained a license to sell the hallmark jewelry, and the number is still on the rise. Now, with this I will turn towards cadmium gold. Cadmium is nothing but cadmium, sometimes marked as KDM. Now, why cadmium? The soldering joints in the making of gold ornament were made by less carat of gold, like 20 or 18 or even less, as I said earlier, to reduce its melting point to effect the homogeneous welding joint, that is soldering joint. But then it makes your ornament still impure because of the under caratage of that solder. So, to overcome this, in place of a gold alloy of less carats as a solder, here exclusively cadmium metal was used in soldering of gold jewelry, because of its good properties of liquidity and melting at lower temperatures. Cadmium solder then evaporates itself, leaving the gold joint alone without any impurity. By making the joint homogeneously, the cadmium metal evaporates. The melting point of cadmium is around 321 degrees Celsius, as against gold with melting point 1064 degrees, hence it was effectively used. But this, the so called cadmium gold, does not guarantee you of the purity of actual body of the gold. Suppose if the actual gold ornament which has been taken is of less purity, the cadmium is going to do nothing, it will only weld. This cadmium gold, denoted as cadmium, was interpreted as hallmark. In the earlier days, it was interpreted as a very good gold, that is hallmark, and indicating the purity, that it is very pure, but it is not, as it does not affect the purity which is already there. Subsequently, the world came to know about the toxic properties of cadmium fumes, as found that cadmium was carcinogenic and harmful. Hence, it came to be banned for use in the jewelry. This cadmium is not harmful to the consumer who uses the gold jewelry, but it is harmful to the gold man who is working on that solder joint. The evaporated fumes are inhaled by him and it gives the carcinogenic harmful effect on the body of the gold jeweler. Hence, it came to be banned from the use of jewelry. In India, it is also banned. Now, if cadmium is banned, what next? Substitute metals like zinc alloys and some other metals are now discovered with properties of cadmium for this soldering purpose. So, no worry even if cadmium is banned. Here I have taken out the list of hallmarking centers in Goa. There are two hallmarking centers in Goa. One is Sri Lakshmi Narayana hallmarking center near railway overbridge, that is just where the railway overbridge starts in Margao, and the second is Chodhankar's hallmarking and refinery, Mapsa Industrial Estate. And now the final word. Buying of hallmark jewelry or buying of hallmarked or certified gold is the value for money than buying gold otherwise in the long run and even in the short run. Hallmark jewelry gives you the guarantee of your gold, lifetime guarantee. You can go for 20 karat gold or 18 karat or any purity jewelry in place of 22 karat for saving your money, for which you will be charged proportionately lesser rates. But remember, all that glitters is not always gold. That was all about today's topic. My acknowledgements, I acknowledge the motivation and support given to me by the personalities as given in making of this presentation and video. Then the disclaimer. All the above aspects placed before you are purely out of the resources gathered from Bureau of Indian Standards with reference to IS 15820 of 2009, IS 1418 of 2009 third revision, IS 1417 2016 fourth revision, various sources and literature made available globally on gold. This is only the awareness of the precious metals. The standards for different region are different. It is all for you to ponder and your wise scrutiny over the topic. Thank you.